Hi, this is a Curvy 3D and GIMP tutorial showing you how I did the post-production on this image. Before I started, I used the View menu to bring up the camera controls, the camera panel, and I adjust the depth near and depth far to get rid of any clipping, to get rid of any blue or red bits on the model, which gives it a good spread of depth. Then I'm saving a layered screenshots, which saves out ambient inclusion and depth map. Now I've made a copy of my model and I've changed the materials to get a special highlight on the skin, and all the other objects were made black. And then I'm going to use another type of highlight on the backlighting. So I made another copy of my models with backlighting as highlighted. So for each of these lighting layers, I'm going to save out a screenshot ×2, which is twice the size of your screen. Now this is the backlighting. These light maps come with Curvy in your documents, user documents folder. That's the H highlight to give a backlight. And so long as I don't move the view in between doing each of these, they'll line up okay once we get them into GIMP. Again, doing a screenshot ×2 to save out the highlights. Now I'm going to select all of those exported maps and drop them into GIMP. So you've got the highlight, the skin highlight, the depth map, and the ambient occlusion map. Now I'm going to layer these all together into one image. So for each layer, I'm going to do Control-A, Control-C to copy, and then paste it into my main image and convert it into a layer from it starts off as a floating selection, turn it into a layer. So next we're going to do that with the depth map and the highlights. The depth map we're just going to hide for the time being. We'll come back to it later. Just closing the images which I've already copied in. So we need to copy in our highlights as well now. Again, Control-A to select all, and then Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, convert it into a layer. For the highlights, I'm using the screen mode, so it lightens up bits of the image. Okay, that's all our layers together, with the ambient occlusion set to multiply and the highlight layers set to screen. Now I'm going to pull in my background picture, which is this moonscape. Copy and paste it into our main image. It's copied the wrong layer, so let's try that again. Control-A, Control-C, Control-V, turn it into a new layer, drag it down to the bottom. Now to see our background, we need to cut out part of our image with an alpha channel. So we're going to go to the depth layer, select the background with the fuzzy select tool, shift select the little bit under his arm, invert the selection, add an alpha map to our main layer, and then press delete to clear all of the selected parts of the image. Now we just need to hide the depth layer, and we can see that we've got our character cut out against the background. Let's use the eraser tool to cut out a little bit of his foot, which is going to sit behind the rocks. And we have to erase each layer that we have brought in. Get rid of his foot. We want to adjust his position in front of the moon. So I'm going to undo that last cropped selection. Select my background and move it into place. Here I'm using the arrow keys, holding down Shift to do big jumps and then pressing the arrows to do small jumps to line up the moon behind our character. Just need to erase a little bit more of his foot, which should be hiding behind that rock. That's going well, but we want a little bit more depth to the image, so we're going to add a fog effect. Just quickly save it there. Now for the fog, we're going to use a layer mask. So we're going to add a layer mask to the depth map, and it's going to be a grayscale copy of layer. So that's given us a fuzzy bit, but it's the wrong type of fuzzy. It's given us an inverted effect. Just use the fill tool to fill the whole layer back with blue. And then I'm going to invert the layer mask. So it gives us a sort of depth fog effect. Notice that it has fogged out the background entirely. So we're going to copy the selection from our main layer and select our fog layer and delete the background from the fog layer. We've got a little bit too much fog around his face. We want a bit more contrast around his face, so I'm going to pick a very large soft brush and use the eraser tool to clear out a bit of the fog around his head and shoulders. And that's pretty much it. Just tweak the opacity of the fog so you can make that a bit more subtle effect if you want. Once more, tweak that rock in front of the foot. And there we go. We've added a background and blended our model so it fits in nicely with the moonscape. You can try all of this out today on Curvy 3D with a free 30-day Curvy 3D demo at curvy3d.com. Thanks for watching.